Careful, because he will just pop right out. Quite surprised I didn't do that. Also a little bit disappointed. I do crave disaster. Oh.
Angry Andy.
Angry Andy Reviews.
Angry Andy. Angry Andy.
Angry Andy Reviews.
Angry Andy.
Angry Andy Reviews.
Angry Andy.
Angry Andy Reviews.
Angry Andy.
Angry Andy Reviews. Don't make me destroy you.
Hello and welcome to Angry Andy Reviews, and welcome to 2021 and hopefully a new year of collectible unboxings. And to start us off this year, I'm going to be unboxing something that came out quite surprisingly at the back end of 2020, just before Christmas, and that is the Star Wars Hasbro Black Series Speeder Bike, Scout Trooper and the Child. There we have it. Now, this particular figure set, rather, was an Amazon UK exclusive, and I believe it was also an Amazon US exclusive as well. When I ordered this item, it pretty much went out of stock right after it sold out immediately, and as of the time of recording today, which is the 6th of January, I think, I've lost track due to all these lovely lockdowns we're experiencing. As of the time of recording today, it is still out of stock and there is no ability to pre-order. All you can do is sign up for notifications about it coming back in stock. So the exclusivity for this particular set and this particular figure was quite high. Like I said, it was an exclusive purely to Amazon. You weren't able to pick this up in any of the other smaller toy shops or sites which I use in particular, and I had no choice but to get this through Amazon. But surprisingly, it came just before Christmas. There was a supposed release date for this for about April, and I received a dispatch notice and it arrived really surprisingly. So enough of that jargon, let's get straight into it and unbox it. But first, before we do that, we'll have a look at some of the detailing. So the front box is pretty decent. You've got it set up in there quite nicely, and as you can see, maybe you can just about see there is the child in the little bag which the Scout Trooper puts him in, and that you see Mando carry him in for a lot of times in the second series in particular. On the side, there is some pretty decent artwork there of the Scout Trooper and the child at the bottom. And on the back, you get a good look at what the figure looks like with the included base and of course the speeder bike as well. On that side there is nothing in particular worthy of note, nor is there anything underneath either, apart from some, very basic directions. You just pop the thing in at the bottom. Marvellous, at least we know. Let's have a look at what it says on the back, the blurb. So, speeder bike, Scout Trooper and the Child. Scout Troopers were lightly armoured compared with other Stormtroopers, which allowed them to move more quickly and easily in a range of environments. They were also trained for more independence and adaptability than most Imperial troops. The Empire used Scout Troopers for a range of missions, including reconnaissance and infiltration. So, we have seen these before, obviously in Return of the Jedi with the brown speeder bike, and in The Mandalorian, obviously riding white speeder bike. So yes, we have seen them in multiple settings. So let's get on and open it. So got scissors this time. Usually have a nice sharp knife, but I've got scissors this time because there are some plastic connectors holding it in place inside the box. Just have to bear with me here. There we go. Just try and slide out nice and simple. As you may realise already, I don't keep the boxes, I don't keep the figures inside the box. I've got a few that I do keep inside the box for my own preference, but the majority of them I don't keep in. So there we go. I got you. This little thing usually just flies out and attacks me every time I open one of these. Not today. Alright, interesting. So, the back of the box, you do get this interesting little piece of artwork. It's not much. It's in, it's in grayscale. It does look like a bit of setting, that we have seen in The Mandalorian. That's quite interesting. So if you did want to, I suppose, open this and yet keep some form of backdrop, you could probably use this, I guess. Very nice. There we have it. So he's out of the box, still in the plastic wrapper. You can see there's a lot of plastic holding him in place. There is, I think that's a targeting system. I think we saw that in the series. Obviously you guys, a little blaster there. Right, I'm going to pop them out first because they look like the things that will go missing. And I tend to lose things when I'm doing these videos. If I can get them out, there we go. Right, let's go and have a look at these first. So here we have the tagging device. Quite simple, it's just a basic plastic mould. Nothing really worthwhile to discuss there. Obviously, I think we saw this in one of the Mandalorian episodes. There you have it. Just plonk that there for a minute. And then we have this really, really tiny blaster. Now, you will recognise this blaster. Obviously, we've seen this used in Return of the Jedi and obviously in The Mandalorian as well. But that is really, really small. That is, compared to a lot of the other blasters, which are, obviously they're to scale. But this is tiny. That is tiny. You are going to lose this if you don't store it correctly, or at least have it on the figure in some capacity. Right, I'm going to put that there. I've got a horrible feeling I'm going to lose that. Maybe I should. Maybe it'll make good content. Who knows? Right, start getting these little plastic pieces cut off so we can get the figure out. There we go. It's very well secure, I must admit. Good job, Hasbro, in that department. And of course, if you did want to keep it in the box, the way it's displayed inside the box is pretty good. I'm not going to lie. That you got him looking outwards. You've got him, in action, if you like, and the child is obviously in the bag as well. So if you were to keep this in the box, it would look pretty good on a shelf, I guess. It's awkward to get some of these pieces out. There we go. There's that bit. One final bit for the stand, I think, and then we're ready to go. Plenty of noise. Right, there we are. That's all the plastic out of the way. Okay, and now probably comes the oh no. I was just about to say now comes probably the most noisiest part, but he's just popped out. Nice and simple. Usually I make a hell of a noise when I'm pulling these figures out of the plastic, but there you have it. It just slipped right out. So be careful if and when you are taking this out of the box and you're slipping all this plastic away. Be careful, because he will just pop right out. Quite surprised I didn't do that. Also a little bit disappointed. I do crave disaster. Oh, no, it's alright. So there you have it. There is the speeder bike and the Scout Trooper. That looks pretty cool. That looks a lot better outside the box than at first glance. I'm loving the detailing on the speeder bike. You can see it there, like the mud scarring and the dirt accumulation on it. Stand is pretty basic. It's just a basic piece of clear plastic. I'll take it off and just show you. There's not really much going on there. I get it. You want it to appear like it's hovering or whatever and racing. That's great. Could they have done something where there's a bit of ground underneath or something? They probably could have done that. And to be fair, there is some moulding on there. So if you wanted to do something like that yourself, which I might try and do, to make some ground or whatever, a bit of environment, then you can do that. I'd probably recommend it, because that's rubbish. I'm just going to throw it out there. That's pretty rubbish compared to the detailing on the rest of the figure. That is, put a bit of effort in. Come on. Some of us are paying, top dollar for this kind of stuff, and you thin ass piece of plastic. Right. Anyway, that's enough griping. Necessary griping, I think. And there you go. So there is the speeder bike without the stand. I think that looks pretty good. I do think that looks pretty good. I love this. I've always loved the Scout Trooper. The first time I saw it in Return of the Jedi, and subsequent appearances. I do like the Scout Trooper. Okay, so there we go. So underneath, now interesting enough, he is still attached to the bike. There are really hard to see little plastic ties knocking around, so the child is obviously stuck as well with a little plastic tie. So again, it does protect you if you do open it the wrong way, I suppose. But yeah, so having a look underneath, there is of course a little gun turret, which we've seen be used countless times. Obviously on the sides there, which we'll just flip it over that way. So there's the other side. Again, the detailing, you could probably just make it out there. It's pretty swish, it's pretty good. Got this satchel at the back there. And interesting enough, the actual Scout Trooper himself, it's got a lot of sort of like yellowing on the armour, like dirt. Used to seeing, these figures with, clear white, brilliant white. I really like, because it fits with what you saw in The Mandalorian. I really like sort of like the dirt. You can just see that on the helmet there. Bit of dirt. I like it. I really like it. That's really good. And obviously, front profile there as well. Pretty swish, pretty smart. Right, I'm going to try and attempt to remove all this plastic. Christ, nearly knocked over my stand then. It's really hard to see this plastic. Oh, there we go, there's one. Okay, so I'm going to slowly take everything apart. Just bear with me here, because this little bit of plastic ties that we've got on here are really quite hard to see. Don't really want to damage anything. Can't get it. Oh, here we go. There we are. Got it. I think I've got it. Bloody hell, how many are there? There we go. That should do it now. Excellent. So this is probably one of the most securely tied figures I've unboxed so far. There's a lot going on here. There's a lot to sort of like cut apart and whatever, which is something to bear in mind if you're opening this for a youngster or for yourself. There's a lot of ties in here, and I can't get one of these out because it's been tied that right there. I mean, look, just how little tiny flimsy piece of plastic. You got to be careful with that. It's quite as good as it is that it's locked in place if you want to take it out and display it as is, as it comes in the box, but just be careful with some of these little plastic bits and pieces. They are quite fiddly. There we go. That one was a bit more easier. Let's try and take his hand off. There we are. Wrapped in such a way where they're right round the wrists as well, which is a bit, so like right round these joints. Little plastic pieces are wrapped right around these joints here, which has made it a little bit more difficult. I think there is one more on one of the feet. Let's have a look. As you can see, he's falling off at the minute. So like I said, it is pretty good that they are sort of like stuck on, if you like, because you can keep them as they are. There we have it. Sorted. He's out. He's absolutely out. I thought this was going to be a pretty quick video, but maybe not. Right, so we'll do one thing first. We will have a look at the child inside the bag. There he is. Little child inside the bag. And again, this little piece is tiny. You probably won't be able to get much detailing from it. And it's a very basic sort of thing. You can't take the child out of the bag. He is a solid piece in there. The head does turn very slightly, but not by much. And of course you can close the bag as well. So if you already have a child figure, you can close the bag, I guess. So it just serves as like a basic Imperial satchel, which, is a nice little bonus, nice little detail. But there you have it. There is the child in the bag. It's pretty cute. Pretty cute. Now, one thing that I wanted to explore was whether this would go with the Mandalorian figure. So conveniently, I brought one along. The Mando in Beskar armor. I do have a review for this as well. Check that out if you haven't already. And interesting enough, no, it does not go well with Mandalorian figure. It's not long enough. It's not long enough to go under his arm, as you've seen in the show. although it looks quite interesting there. No, it's not. It's not compatible with one of the figures, on the Mandalorian figures. It looks a bit funny. I mean, you could do sort of like the modern dad thing. There you go, have him riding on the front. But no, it does not. It's not compatible with a figure already. I have seen a few sort of like smaller sellers creating these satchels separately. There was a Mandalorian figure similar to this one released at the same time as this speeder bike set. I think it was a Smith's Toy Shop exclusive, and again it was exclusive, maybe Walmart or something in the US, but it did feature Mandalorian with the satchel on the side. I didn't get that one because I've already got a Mando figure, and I was getting this. I've already got a child figure as well, so I didn't see the point. The only difference was you could take the helmet off, you could swap heads, and it came with the bag. I could probably make a bag myself, to be fair. But let's move on. Let's have a closer look at the speeder if we can. There we go. It looks pretty cool, like I said. The brilliant white of the speeder has some awesome detailing on it, the dirt and whatever. Handles don't move that much. It's quite a static piece. There's no movement in the joints at the bottom. It's very much a static piece. Obviously there's a little bit of movement there with the turret at the bottom, as you can see, but other than that it's very much a static piece, which is perfectly fine. It's perfectly fine. You don't want too many movable parts in this because things will just fall off and disappear. But loving the detailing. As you can see, there's a bit of detailing of the mud around sort of like the seating area and the engine ports at the back, and especially at the front you can see all that dirt and marking there. Pretty good, the detail on the control panels at the front, quite nice. It is solid plastic all around. There's no like faux leather or anything on here, it's just solid plastic. But yeah, all in all it's a pretty decent vehicle. But there we have it. So let's move on to the Scout Trooper himself. Here he is in all his yellowy glory. Like I said, the yellowing, probably better if I pull it away because of the light I've got on. As you can see, there is a yellowing tint. Can't tell as much as I can here, especially around the visor on the helmet specifically. There is a lot more yellowing than what I'm noticing on screen, but it looks pretty cool. And you can adjust this figure like you can with all the Black Series figures. You can adjust him, so you don't necessarily have to have him sort of like sat on the bike, as it were. But there you have it. You know, pretty decent. It is pretty much a repaint of, you know, speeder Scout Trooper figures we've seen before. There's not much else different here in terms of what you get on the modelling. There was a variant for the Fallen Order game, which has a few more accessories and everything on it, which I have yet to purchase. But like I said, you know, it's the detailing on sort of like the armour, the yellowing and whatever that really sets this apart, I think, and makes it stand out a bit more. There is a nice lovely holster there on the leg, you can see that, for this really oh there it is. I thought I'd lost it. There is a holster there for this tiny weapon, and look, it fits perfectly in. So you can, if you're going to set this up with him on the speeder bike, you can holster it in there and not worry about where it is, which is pretty good. Let's just see how easy it is to get this back in. Yeah, so the stand just pops right in there. It pops right out and it just sits back in nicely as well, which is pretty good. No complaints there, no worries there either. But there we have it. That is pretty much the speeder bike, Scout Trooper and the child set all in one go. Pretty good. Is he going to stand up for us? Again, I have terrible trouble posing these things, but there you go. Lovely. Nice and set up. I haven't lost anything yet, which is a miraculous achievement for this video and for this review. But have you picked up one of these yourself? What do you think? Have you left it in the box? Have you displayed it in any particular fashion? If you have, follow me on Twitter. You know, reply to this video. Let me know if you've set up anything, you know, with this figure. If you've bought one, if you've bought several, You're building an army. A lot of people build an army. I can't afford to build an army. I'd love to. I'm getting there. But I don't know how some of these people afford to buy several of them. But if you enjoyed this video, please do leave a like and subscribe to the channel for more videos like this. More movie reviews and discussions as well. I'm trying to do several things to keep it interesting, but thank you very much for watching. Like I said, please do like and subscribe to the channel and follow me on Twitter and take a look at the Facebook page. But for now, thank you very much for watching. Bye bye.